Robert Burale filed a defamation lawsuit against Alex Mwakideu and his sister Rozina Mwakideu, claiming that they had made statements that seriously damaged his reputation. Burale demanded 20 million in compensation, definitely a huge amount that signaled how serious this case was going to be. And for weeks, Kenyans have been waiting to see how the case would unfold. And finally, the long-anticipated court hearing took place this week, drawing plenty of public interest and online discussion. Reportedly, when the court session began, the lawyer representing the Mwakideu's, lawyer Ochel, began by acknowledging that first, his team was just recently appointed to the case, which basically meant they had just recently officially taken over the legal representation for the Mwakideu side. But he was also quick to assure the court that despite the late appointment, his team had burned the midnight oil overnight and were ready to fully proceed with the case. However, before the case could continue, something suddenly happened. The magistrate presiding over the case suddenly interjected, raising a critical issue that neither side had anticipated. The magistrate had noticed that Burale's court documents stated that he was demanding 20 million in damages. The magistrate then went on to point out that the court they were sitting in did not have the legal power to handle a case involving that much money, what in legal terms is referred to as pecuniary jurisdiction. To explain it simply, the small claims court can only handle matters up to cash 1 million. The Chief Magistrate's court has a limit of cash 20 million and the High Court has no financial limit at all. In the magistrate's own words, the 20 million Kenyan shillings figure was impossible for the court to meet as it exceeded the court's statutory financial limits. In simpler terms, the case simply had been filed in the wrong court. Or at least this is what the magistrate was trying to put across. Immediately, the lawyer representing Robert Burale, Attorney Mwale, jumped in to clarify. He explained that the 20 million shilling figure was uploaded by mistake, an error that came from an earlier draft of the court documents. He insisted that the error had already been corrected and amended to align with the proper jurisdiction of the Chief Magistrate Court, which can indeed handle cases up to that amount. But despite his explanation, the magistrate wasn't satisfied, maintaining a firm stance and insisting that before anything else could happen, before witnesses, before arguments or evidence, the court had to first settle the question of jurisdiction, which is basically whether the court has the legal authority to hear the matter in the first place. After the heated back and forth, the magistrate made a decisive ruling declaring that the court lacked the jurisdiction to issue any substantive orders or continue with the proceedings. Basically, the case was frozen and all proceedings halted. The magistrate directed that the case will be mentioned again on the 20th of October before the Chief Magistrate, who will then decide the next step, including which court should properly handle the case. What makes this case so fascinating and intriguing is not just who is involved, but what it represents. On one hand, we have Robert Burale, a man whose brand revolves around reputation and image, and that's the very reason that he is suing, to protect the very reputation. On the other hand, however, we've got Alex Mwakideu, one of Kenya's most recognizable media voices, standing firm with his sister who boldly shared her story, ready to defend their name in court. Indeed, this is a case netizens have sworn to keep tabs on. But for now, Robert Burale's defamation case against the Mwakideus remains on ice, at least until the Chief Magistrate gives the green light. Burale's case against the Mwakideus therefore is currently on hold until the 20th of October. But let's talk about how he's actually very serious about this. When reports first came out that he had filed a 20 million lawsuit against the Mwakideus, some of us were still doubting Thomas's, and it wasn't clear whether he was very, very serious or not. And even Alex Mwakideu joked about it, though he did confirm he had received the letter from the lawyer, but it seems it's now taking a rather serious turn. And as per recent reports, Alex Mwakideu is also seeking for the court to dismiss the 20 million defamation case brought against him and his sister by Burale. According to him, Robert Burale had previously talked about all the issues that were aired on the YouTube discussion between him and his sister. Therefore, he has not suffered any harm. Plus, he also stated that the content was presented by his sister as a personal testimony and not a factual verification. And as we wait to see how it unfolds next, drop your thoughts. Did you know that it was going to be this serious? And what do you think about this case so far? Also, remember to follow us on our different pages. Follow us on BNN Basic, on Instagram and on Telegram for more updates, and subscribe here on YouTube as well for more videos on celebrity drama. Stay tuned, stay updated right here on BNN.